Something very scary happened in China. More precisely, Beijing, so Peking, in 1991. It's about a bus that disappeared late night that we know what happened, but we can find no explanation. Today we're talking about the bus 375, one of the most scariest things to ever happen. Okay, so before we begin, do me a favor, save this video, come back to it at night, so it's more enjoyable like that. Okay, we're good, the lights are off. Okay, let's quick reminder, we're in China right here. More precisely, Peking, like I said. You know, it's the capital of China, matter of fact, and in a city that's so big like that with a very big population, y'all gotta need to move with buses. There was a bus 375 and the bus was the last bus, you know, to serve the day, so we're so late at night. Particular thing about this bus is that he goes around the city, so he can go outside the city sometimes. The bus just normally arrived in the first station where he picked up an old lady. He's gonna call her grandma, okay? Here's the bus, here's the grandma, by the way. Then another station where he picked up a guy. You know, things were going normal. And another station where he picked up a couple this time. You know, things were going normal. Until bus driver, here he is, you see him, decided to stop in the middle of the road. Bus driver, here he is, you see him, decided to stop in the middle of the road for no reason. So everybody was confused, like, bro, what you doing that for? They're right, because the bus only stops normally when there is a station. The station is way far from here. Why would he stop? To justify what he did, he was like, hold on, I think I see people on the road. He was right, he saw 3 people, that's why he stopped. You know the 3 people? One of them in the middle, he seemed so tired, so he was hanging on the 2 right here. Okay, that's weird, but that's not it, because one of them was waving on him like this, you know, to let them know that I want to take the driver. He was so confused, so he was like, should I let him in? Everybody else in the bus were like, no, this is weird, don't let him in. To take the bus, like us, you gotta wait in the bus station. Driver was like, you know what, it's the end of the day, they seem very tired, let me just let him. Oh, before I let you know what happened, y'all gotta know that the bus driver had someone who helped him in the same bus. Matter of fact, she was a lady, and she's here basically to check on the tickets or give the passengers some information if they want to. Oh, he opened the door for them, and this is where the things get weird. They got in, those are the ones who were in the middle of the road. You see, everybody was shocked for a reason, because they were in very long traditional dresses. Okay, but why is it so weird if they wore traditional dresses? Oh, because we're in the middle of the night in 1991, so nobody will wear that because we're not so long time ago, and they are carrying a person with them, you see? Remember? Oh, the 3 people, they decided to sit in the front of the bus, and this is very important because if you're in the front of the bus, everybody will see you. So everybody were giving them side eyes like, okay, so quick recap. We're in the bus, there is the bus driver, the lady that helped him, the grandma, the guy, and the couple, and those in the front. Once they're in the front, the couple, remember, they were like, okay, something's weird is going on. Remember the lady that helped the bus driver were like, oh no, don't worry, it's like, maybe they just like work on a circus, maybe it's Halloween, you know, don't worry. The couple were like, we're leaving the bus the next station, and they did. You gotta know that the closest one to the weird people in the front was the grandma. No, the grandmas in the bus, they were like, they staring at you like crazy, they won't leave you. So she was like, while staring at them like, she noticed something very crazy. You know, the 3 persons, they weren't moving at all. They were like, okay, I'm moving, but you understand. Remember, there was a guy with the grandma. He was a little bit far from them, but he was still in the bus. Oh, he was also very scared. He was staring sometimes like, but real quick, you know, I am telling you that because something happened with the grandma and the guy while these 3 are watching. I was like, hey, what the fuck you robbed my mom? The guy was like, grandma, you okay? What the hell you talking? He was like, she wasn't having it. She was like, I said, give me my money. The guy she was talking to, he was pissed off, you know. He was like, how the hell I'm here, you're there, so how the hell I stole your money? That's what she did. She goes to the bus driver, you know, in the front. She was like, the grandma was talking to the bus driver. She was like, hey, you know what? Stop this bus right here. This guy right here stole my money. I need to go to the police office quickly. Bus driver was like, oh, actually, grandma, we can't do that. Y'all gotta wait for the next. She was like, just do what I said. Okay, here you go, here you go. The grandma and the guy, actually, they got off the bus, and the guy was like, okay, you're happy now, let's go to the police. Grandma was like, that's how you thank me for saving your life? The guy was like, okay, you completely lost it, grandma. First of all, you said that I stole you, then you saved my life. The grandma brings something that will shock the guy, so listen closely. She was like, you know the 3 weirdos that were in the back of the bus? Well, what about? Grandma was like, I was the closest to them, and I swear they weren't humans, they were actually devils. Obviously, the guy was like, oh my god, what the hell she's talking about, man, I'm sick of this shit. He goes like, oh yeah, grandma insisted. She was like, you're gonna think I'm crazy, okay? But I was the closest one to them, and I will tell you exactly what I saw. First of all, where weren't three actually, they were two. And the one in the middle was a human that they I was like, okay, Grandma, you know what? You got no proof though. Grandma was like, hold on, I'm not finished. You see, they were wearing a long dresses. They were wearing them for a reason. Because they were hiding their legs. And the moment they sat, I saw their legs. You know the one in the middle? The human? Yes, he had normal legs because he's human. Well, the other two, meanwhile, the other two, their legs, they weren't normal. Oh, the guy wasn't believing it at all. So he was like, you know what, Grandma, let me just go home. Guess what? You should have listened to Grandma because the same bus I was talking about went missing. The company that owns the buses, they were like, okay, this is not normal. Y'all should open a case and investigate. That's exactly what the Chinese government did. They opened a case, started investigating. Like I said, a case was opened to investigate where the hell the bus 375 went. But the problem is so many days, weeks, months passed and they just couldn't find it. So the Chinese government, they were like, you know what? Let's make this a public announcement. Inform everybody about this and see if they've seen the bus or not. So when the grandma and the guy, remember them, they heard the announcement, they headed straight to the office telling them what they experienced. Even with that, it still doesn't give us where the bus headed, you know. Chinese government at one moment, you know, they gave up. They were like, okay, you know what, let's close this case. The bus driver went somewhere, we don't know. Guess what? Something happened because there was a guy who heard the announcement and he was like, hey yo, the bus you were talking about, 375, he's near my leg. Oh, he gave him the address and the police were like, no way, this is 100 kilometers away from Peking. How is that possible? Especially that the bus company said that the gas that the bus had was barely enough to come back to the initial station. How the hell did we go 100 kilometers far? The police were like, you know what, let's go. And actually, they found the bus. Here he is. And guess what else they found? 3 bodies. Bus driver, the lady that helps the bus driver, and the guy who was in the middle of these two. The scariest thing in this story is that the bodies potentially saw something before they because they were looking so scared, you know, before they... How the hell did the bus 375 go that far without gas? And what the saw before they... I guess we'll never know.